we all got to go through the lows, because the lows help you appreciate the highs. As much as I help people get on planes, man, I always like to keep my toes 10 town on the ground, on the earth. Let me stay humble. Who next?
Especially with social media, we get so comfortable being behind the phone that we forget that footwork. It really works. Like getting your name out there, going and being the face of your brand, making those in-person connections. It's kind of, it's the process.
We plant a seed, we also look forward to the blossom of the seed. And we know what we're planting. So you got to know what you're planting and expect those expectations, those results, that blossom.
With music and hip-hop and just artists changing, how do you pivot and kind of grab what's like changing or what's current and kind of incorporate that to what you're doing? Welcome to another episode of Access Granted, where I give you exclusive access to entrepreneurs that are killing it in their industry. I'm super excited today. I'm kind of fanning out right now. Drumma, what's up? Welcome to Access Granted. How are you?
Hey, yeah, girl. How you doing? I'm blessed.
I love it. I'm so excited to have you here. Okay. Well, first of all, thank you for your... We had to do the book exchange, right?
Yeah, I saw you had your book. I couldn't come empty-handed, man. You signed yours for me. Come on, the perfect exchange.
I love it. Behind the hits. I'm so excited about that because I want to actually go behind the hits today and just kind of uncover like, who is Drumma Boy? How did you get started? You have an amazing story. And I just want to share that with my audience today. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Awesome. So can you start out by telling us who's Drumma?
Drumma Boy originally was an ornament on the Christmas tree. You know what I mean? My grandmama gave me that like probably 5, 6 years old. And it was the little Drumma Boy. Obviously, it was spelled different. You know, it was drummer. They like to put that little drummer. And it was the little Drumma Boy. And, you know, my dad in the orchestra, you know, my whole family in music. My mom was in the opera. And, you know, we heavily influenced by the church and involved in the church and whatnot. I was in the choir. And then coming up in Memphis, it's a musical city, you know, with country music up the street. We got R&B, we home of the blues, you know, rap, of course, but then we got jazz, we got the orchestra, you know, bluegrass and so many different genres of music. So just being inspired by so many different people, my older brother, Insane Wayne, R.I.P., that was like the biggest motivation for me, making beats. And, you know, I learned how to play clarinet through my dad and play piano through my mom and whatnot, and could have been in the orchestra playing clarinet, you know, because I took lessons through my father. But it was my older brother that kind of helped me package my vision and learn, you know, how to apply my talent from musical theory and being able to play all these different instruments, what to do with that theory. And my brother guided me into making beats. And that was the best thing that ever happened to me. Since I've done that, I've helped elevate a lot of other people's lives, not only myself, but create a sound and a genre that we today call trap.
I love it. I absolutely love it. So it sounds like coming up from a musical background, your parents really wanted you to go one direction. How did you know, what happens when some would call it being rebellious, right? When you decide that you want to go not the orchestra route, but the trap route, the hip hop route. How did that happen?
Oh, I mean, it really was, I'm a product of my environment. So, you know, this is what I'm around daily. This, you know, I couldn't get to, you know, the Alicia Keys or the Ushers or the Beyoncés or, you know what I mean? These just people that you hearing that's famous, that's doing good. You know, obviously we're fans of them, but I didn't have access to them. I had access to the streets of Memphis. You know, I had access to the artists that I was around. I remember meeting Player Fly in the mall, passing out my CDs, of me rapping. And, you know, I was in a group called The Faculty. I was in another group called The Trill, and just affiliated with just different guys and different brothers doing positive things and trying to make their way out. These guys rapping, okay, I make beats. You know what I'm saying? Y'all doing y'all thing, okay, bet I got the beats. You know what I'm saying? Any guys rapping, it's really a passion, a love. It's like hooping.
Yeah.
Like, y'all hooping? All right, I got next. You know what I mean? And just trying to get on the court.
That's good.
You know what I mean? And the first time I got on the court was with Yo Gotti. you know, and to be able to follow that up with Tila. Tila was, you know, a group of older guys, player, representing Memphis. They was out in Houston doing their thing. My brother was like, man, I'm on the Double Dose album. You know, what you got?
Wow.
And just working my way up to being able to push play for the OGs. And my brother had 2 songs on Double Dose album, Tila. I ended up with 3.
Okay.
You know, Big Bro getting 2,500 to beat. I got 2,500 to beat just because of Big Bro.
Yeah.
I got 3 songs on the album. I'm 18 at the time. That's $7,500 that J Prince, Rap A Lot Records paid me. So, you know, at that time, that's life changing. I go to Atlanta, I do 2 songs for Pastor Troy. Troy said, I can't do 5,000 a beat, but I can do 4. I get $8,000. I'm 19. I get $8,000 from Pastor Troy. Make them get their money right. Make them get their money right. Strip club anthem.
Yeah.
You know, I ain't even old enough to get in the strip club.
Mm.
You know, so coming out of high school and being able to have that type of access and that money with no NIL deal, I had D1, D2 scholarships on the table for playing basketball coming out of Cordova High School. And it was, you know, decisions that, you know, I had to make that I felt like, what am I going to be number 1 at?
That's good.
You know what I mean? And 6 foot, if I would have made it to 6'3", 6'4", because I was in dunk contests, I was winning dunk contests, I kind of, you know, I'm averaging about 12, 13 points a game. So it definitely could have been some NIL opportunities had there been an NIL. It definitely, you know, even if Nolan Richardson didn't get fired, because that was one of the places that I had a scholarship. Richardson gets fired that year. And I'm one of the players of the camp the year before. So I got a scholarship to the University of Memphis. I got a scholarship to Western Kentucky. But I got like $30,000 in my pocket. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then I was just like, let me just go to school. I had an academic scholarship as well. And, you know, went to school, music business. Another life changer.
That's amazing. That's an amazing story. Throughout your journey, especially deciding to go forward with music instead of going to the University of Kentucky or the University of Memphis, did your parents support your decision, especially having the music background?
Oh yeah, my dad was at the school, taught at University of Memphis.
Okay.
He was a professor of clarinet in the music department. So he was great with me going to University of Memphis because my tuition would be practically nothing. I'm already in state, and then I also got a discount because he taught at the university.
Oh, so that's amazing.
So I had to pay my tuition, so it ended up best for me. And then I'm still local. I'm still able to keep my friends around and whatnot. And I was really just buying time to get my name in the music business as big as possible. My junior year, I ended up getting kicked out due to unattendance. So I'm back and forth in Atlanta.
Okay.
You know, I got Jeezy album coming up. I did Standing Ovation on Young Jeezy album, TM 101, and I'm getting kicked out of college at the same time. And my dad finds out about it, and he's, you know, makes a whole big deal about it. The dean of the university and him are friends, blah, 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 so I can understand his embarrassment as a parent. And we sat down and we talked about it. And he made a bet with me. He was like, man, you know, you say you Drumma Boy and this and that. And we was arguing. I'm like, I'm Drumma Boy, man. I got this song out. I got this song with Yo God. I got this with Pastor Troy. I did this with Scarface. I pulled out like $10,000 cash. Like, man, I'm getting to the money, man. You make $30,000 a year. I made that last week, Pop. Like, come on, bro. You know what I mean? And he was just, you know, since you big bad wolf and all, since you, okay, head honcho, show me $100,000 in your bank account. I ain't talking about no dope boy money or no street money or no, because if it's in your bank account, that means you got to pay taxes. You know, if it's in your bank account, it's legit. You know, if it's in your bank account, they can't just run up and rob you. He just running on all these different. And I'm like, all right. And we made a bet. He's like, I'll give you 12 months. If not, I'm going to beat your ass, because he was furious. He was pissed off, you know, that I got kicked out of university and you know, he was just wondering what I was doing with my time after I said kind of stiff arm basketball, because he knew that was my life, and I never told him that I was Drumma Boy.
Wow.
So
a whole different
from 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, that's 6 years that he never knew. But I wanted to just master my craft and be the best that I could. So when I did face the boss. I looked at my dad like the big boss. Like, this the
Mm-hmm.
last person I got to beat in life, and I'm good.
Mm.
When we made that bet, he said, I'm going to give you 12 months. And if not, we going to fight. No boxing gloves. I'm going to beat your ass. This my dad talking to me. He telling me, like, I'm going to beat your ass with these bare knuckles. I'm like, all right, cool, because I got some moves for you, too, so I wasn't really tripping on that. I pulled up on him 10 months later with a bank statement, and we've been best friends ever since.
Wow, that's amazing. That's a story. That's a story. Do you talk about that in Behind the Hits? That's amazing. So I know people probably come up to you all the time and they're like, what's the sauce? Like, I want to do this. I want to make beats. I make beats. But people forget the process, like what you really had to go through, how you learned the skill, how you perfected the skill, and how you got to where you are right now. What's some advice you have to maybe somebody that's watching this right now and they want to be able to connect with the artist? Maybe they're in the studio, they're doing the beats, but they just don't know how to get it in the hands of the right person to make it happen.
If you in the studio making the beats with the person, then you already in contact with the person, with that artist. For me, at the time, I was moving around all the malls. I'm moving around all the beauty salons and barbershops. My older brother was a barber as well. So he was at Dynasty One. Anybody from Memphis, especially, 30, 40 and up, they gonna know about a barbershop called Dynasty One off Brooks Road.
Okay.
In the Haven. Black Haven is what we, what we represent. White Haven is what they call it. It's on the map. But that's my stomping ground, BAZ. So I'm sweeping her. Hey, big bro, let me sweep her for you. I'm playing beats on the side. I see 3-6 Mafia coming in. My brother was cutting their hair. 8-Ball MJG, my brother was cutting their hair. You know what I mean? So, and then getting to know Indigo and all the different famous beauticians in the city who they doing all of the people hair. And, oh, okay, yeah. And then, that's how everybody got to start talking about Drumma Boy. Yeah, Insane Wayne, little brother. Insane Wayne, little brother. But it took that footwork. Outside of having the skill, the theory, being able to play a music, instrument, understanding choir, understanding vocals, understanding placement, DJing for parties throughout the city. People don't even understand how many parties I DJed, and understanding what the people want, how to move a crowd of people with just a voice and
That's good.
an idea. I was at the cafeteria table just bebopping. And that band folks just started freestyling. And then you got a vibe just from your spirit.
Yeah.
So same thing, we used to stomp, clap, saying like that that culture that we used to and making people move, whether we telling jokes, whether we making people laugh, some of us comedians, but just that raw spirit and energy, no electricity, and I got a whole room of people vibing.
That's good. That's powerful. I think some people, like, especially with social media, we get so comfortable being behind the phone that we forget that footwork. It really works. Like getting your name out there, going and being the face of your brand, making those in-person connections. It's kind of, it's the process. It's part of the process to get to the result. Behind the hits, what else are what are some other things that you're talking about inside of this book, outside of, your story and your passion and how you got to where you are today?
One of the most important things for a producer to do is copyright his music. I ask every producer that I bump into, hey bro, you copyrighted that beat? No. You copyrighted that beat? No. You copyrighted that beat? And this was some game that I used to get from Wendy Day. She was doing free workshops at the University of Memphis, just free, teaching people how to copyright the beats, the importance of PRO, performance recording, organizations. Having those in place to collect your money. Having an entertainment lawyer, having a management, having a system, having a business, having a team, having all of those different puzzle pieces in place. She was doing that for free. There was only so many people showing up.
Mm-hmm.
I was one of them.
Yeah.
So it's like, damn, you ain't never got jack for a beat, or you ain't never got ain't nobody. It's copyrighted, bro. We in the business of email now. I was in hand-to-hand exchange with artists. I'm on Tila album because I knew Tila. My brother knew Tila. I'm in the studio with Tila. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Management, they ain't had no choice. Jay Prince ain't had no choice but to cut the check. I'm already on the album. You know what I'm saying? Jeezy, I was in the studio with Jeezy. I was putting in that work with Jeezy.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't up to Coach K. It wasn't up to Def Jam or Shakur Stewart or whoever was in place. They just had to cut the check because I was already on the album and Jeezy was already telling them, this the album. This who made the album. Done. Mm-hmm. So all they had to do was cut the checks. I'm in the studio with Plies. I know Plies personally. So, you know what I'm saying? This was something that we was doing. So the label, they have to cut the check. I'm already in. Mm-hmm. Same thing with 2 Chainz. He was on DTP. You know what I'm saying? Frustrated, this and that. I'm like, bro, okay, what we need to do? Let's do the work. I'm doing the artist development. I'm doing the goddamn, I'm paying for the engineer. I got the studio to provide, and I got the beats to provide. What we need, come on, bro. What you need? Mm-hmm. And we do the whole True Religion right in my condo. The label ain't got no choice but to cut the check. Young Blue, what we need to do? Go ahead. First song we do, okay, Boosie sign him, then Young Blue gone. Mm. You know what I mean? So that's always a gift. That I be Walker. What we need to do, bro? Man, CEO keep getting locked up. Brick Squad. Who you talking about? Gucci. Man, somebody got to be the artist on Brick Squad. All right, what you got? Let them do it. Hard in the Paint come out. Bam, what you need from me, man? No hands. Bro, we did 10 million. Just having fun. We did 10 million, bro. Michael Jackson and a few other people. Like, it's only a few people who can speak on Diamond. Mm-hmm. Especially in this genre of music where everybody was looking down upon, it's trap music, all the drug dealers, all those guys, those thugs, those.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But we got y'all moving and grooving, like, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And the craziest thing is, like, to be able to change somebody's life, to see how somebody living before this record and after this record. Mm-hmm. Let's do Here I Am, Rick Ross. Mm-hmm. Here I am. I got a lot of dollars I can spend them on her. Positive energy. We elevated. Yeah. We trap. Yeah, but we elevate. You know what I mean? So that's the fun part, to elevate, to grow. And as much as I help people get on planes, man, I always like to keep my toes 10 town on the ground, on the earth. Let me stay humble. Who next? What's next? That's how I'm able to see who coming next. You know what I mean? Because I could be high in the clouds. Okay, I did it. But I want to take advantage of my time on this earth. And that's what I feel like that's my biggest secret to staying relevant.
That's big. And that was actually one of my questions that I had for you, because with music and hip hop and just artists changing, you know, all the time, and the sound and tone of music, how do you pivot and kind of grab what's like changing or what's current and kind of incorporate that to what you're doing?
You take heed.
Yeah.
Period. Hey, drum, you need to listen to my little nigga, man. I listen to everything.
Really?
Everything somebody hit me with or DM me or this or that. They might not think I do, but I do.
Really?
Even if I don't respond, I done listen to it. And it might not have turned me on. It might not have, because I do that most of anything.
Yeah.
I'll be doing that all day. But it's there now and then where you be like, change the perspective.
Okay.
Okay. All right. And then you want to see the consistency of that. How hungry are them? I can't be hungrier than you. I've been there before. Mm-hmm. It ain't going to work. I believe more in you than you do yourself.
Right.
And it's never going to work. You know what I'm saying? And then I just end up more out of money than, you know what I'm saying, and more in debt. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you can spend that whole $1 million and then they just don't see it. They don't believe in themselves.
Yeah, that's true. So I think and from my perspective, and I could be on the other side or on the outside looking in, but I think a lot of times in the music industry, people don't form and craft it as a business. Like they go inside and they're investing in studio time and, you know, tours and music, and they're not drafting it or creating it as a business or a brand, and they're just doing it.
I think even deeper than that, like you got to take this shit personal. I think it's a point that all of us have went through as far as the amount of struggle, you know, the amount of people you lost on the way. You know what I'm saying? It's that type of shit where it's like, nigga, man, once I realized I was a monster and a beast and an animal and nothing could stop me, it was the day I showed my daddy that bank statement. You know what I mean? We all got to go through the lows. You know what I mean? Because the lows help you appreciate the highs.
I agree.
You know what I mean? And then when you done had so many lows and not as many highs, you start to realize the appreciation of balance. Like, nigga, fuck the highs, just keep me cool all the time.
That's good.
You know what I mean? Let me just balance this shit like that. Like, I ain't really tripping on the highs, because sometimes you can get so high that you lose yourself, as we call it. You get high horse mentality, as we call it. You tend to forget where you come from because you think this life is gonna last forever. You know, and then the responsibility and the accountability goes out the window. You know, if you don't know how to oil a machine from the beginning standpoint, how you gonna do it at this standpoint? You know, so it's being able, like, I started from sweeping kitchens, sweeping floors, cleaning toilets, and I still clean toilets. I'm still cleaning kitchens. I'm still washing dishes. I'm still mopping floors. I'm always do that because it's something about that household and that foundation that you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even on the shelf or the cooking or this and that, anything to do with the kitchen and this and that, like, you got to be in the kitchen to know how to run a kitchen. You got to be in the house to know how to run a house. You can't be outside all the time and you talking about you running the house too and you doing it, you know, so you got to understand balance. I'm going to make sure my household good, and then I'm going to be outside to do these podcasts to give certain amount of education. But anytime I'm outside, it's something beneficial.
That's good. So outside of Drumma Boy, the producer, Drumma Boy, who we all know, what are some other things that you are doing? I know you give back to the community. I know you're heavily involved in your city and in Atlanta as well. But what are some other things that you're doing?
We're doing fantasy. You know, we big on NFL. It's NFL season.
Okay.
So, you know, Tennessee Titans is my home team. And we big fans of the Tennessee Titans and whatnot. They letting us down. But fantasy football has given me a different burst of energy. We started a podcast called Fantasy Heads Podcast. Me and my boys, Hari, who you talked to earlier. He's on our podcast. My boy Devin, that dude, not Devin the dude, but Devin that dude, Devin Smith. And just giving some light on waivers, players you should draft, upcoming prospects, things of that nature. You know, we heavily involved in the sports from the high school side, from the junior side, even to our, you know, elementary students. And seeing them on a high level perform, such as the NFL and collegiate level, in NIL deals and so on and so forth. Julian Lewis is one of our homeboys. He plays for the Colorado Buffaloes. So, you know, just being able to cover something that you love outside of music. Football has always been my love. Basketball has been my love. And even learning and growing passion for golf, baseball, a little bit on hockey, you know what I mean? But just elevating on that sense where as much football as we watch, and why not enlighten and make some money on it as well.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I think we were talking about that earlier at lunch. Like, we watch people work for entertainment. Why are we not making money while we watch them work for entertainment? So yeah, absolutely. So outside of, I know you're heavily involved in the community, and we talked earlier, like, I got to help you get some of this grant money that's out here. Like,
come on,
you know, there's so much money just for entrepreneurs in general, like whether you're in the music industry or producing or giving back to the youth or building a brand, there's so much unclaimed money out there available. And I got to help you tap into some of that.
Absolutely, because I'm spending my own. I'm doing all of these things myself.
Yeah.
I'm doing events. We're doing high school tours. We're doing college runs. We're doing campaigns and business workshops and business plan challenges and whatnot. So, it's been a blessing to be able to have a good team of people. I started a foundation, Drum Squad Foundation. Big shout out to Ron Highsmith. He's helped me tremendously, just with the different events and the different presentations that we've done thus far with our foundation. And again, like, this is something that I'm always doing and giving back and looking out for the artists and making sure that they get that spotlight, making sure that they got that big brother to talk to or that big brother to support them.
That's good.
So the more opportunities and the more funding that we get, the more that we're able to do.
The more we're able to impact, and that's why I do this. So there's one particular young lady. She has an event space. I think she's in South Carolina, either North Carolina or South Carolina, but she has an event space. And what she did was the back of her event space, she opened up a studio. And the kids in her community, if they're making good grades, they can come to the studio and do beats and, record their albums and do music. So she was able to get grant funding because she put the studio in the back that catered to the youth. So it's just about little things. And you having the foundation definitely opens up the door for a whole new conversation for us to help you get access to grant funding. Now, you can get grant funding whether you're for profit or a nonprofit, but that foundation has just a whole nother layer of people to want to fund you and give you the money to continue your impact and go help others.
Absolutely. And then even helping her take her stuff to the next level. Like, okay, now you got the studio, you're helping these kids do this and whatnot and give them a home. Now let's put this into an album. Let's put this into a yearly album, an annual thing that releases. And now you got the show and the performances and all of that. And now the sponsorships come in and whatnot. And now this is a city annual thing that not only is making money and whatnot, but is providing opportunity and sharing culture in the city of where
I don't know. This might be a dangerous duo. I give them the grant money. You elevate it.
We plant a seed. We also look forward to the blossom of the seed, and we know what we're planting.
Yeah.
If I'm planting a cannon seed, I know this is going to be a cannon tree. If I'm planting a palm tree, I know there's going to be peach tree, so on and so on. So you got to know what you're planting and expect those expectations, those results that blossom.
Yeah.
Right. And I know what this is going to be in 10 years, in 20 years, in 30 years, in 40 years. And, that's why I say it definitely could be dangerous.
I love it. I absolutely love it. What advice do you have to the entrepreneur that's watching this? And maybe they are playing it small. They're not locked all the way in. Maybe they have 1 foot in, 1 foot out. They're scared to go all in. What advice do you have to that person?
Don't overthink it. Go with the flow. Follow your intuition. It's always the gut intuition. It's always your first thought. And then you go to second, then you go to third, then you go to fourth, then you go to fifth, then you be like, man, you know what? I'm tripping, bro. All right, we gone. You know what I'm saying? You know you're going to go, just go and go. You know what I mean? Don't be scared to put the money up, but be informed on every dollar that you spend. Don't get it twisted. We ain't out here to blow nothing or get caught up in no scam or put everybody through that due diligence. You know what I mean? I got to put you through a little test. Like, you know what I'm saying? Especially if you see the red flag or you feel like, man, something about this nigga don't feel right. Damn, something about her feel off. Damn, man, usually you're right. So follow that. A lot of times we tend to give somebody the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to call, I'm going to back up. Man, who do I know in the music industry? Hey, Drum, how you know this person named such and such and such? And then I can tell them. And 9 times out of 10, I know. And then I can tell you right there, nah, bro, I can tell you yay or nay. You know what I mean? If you are going to do something light. Keep it light. Like, just give them a little tester, like, you know what I mean? And then see how they stand up and see how they efficiency, see how the consistency. See what if they on time. You could tell somebody, look, I'm gonna meet you with da 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 da. Do a meeting, set it up. We're gonna meet. We're gonna chop it up. I'll take you out to eat. 9 times out of 10, folks be late. You know what I mean? Or they might cancel last minute. Like, see how they honor the time that you've given them, and then they can't even honor that window of opportunity. Oh man, I can't make it. I can't. Da, 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 da. You don't even deserve. I gave you this one window of opportunity, and you couldn't even make that. So imagine if I gave you the Rolodex. You know what I mean? Now you're gonna make me. Who is this guy that you gave my number, bro? Like, don't do that again. And then now you jeopardizing relationships that you got just because of your decision making. So I mean, like, that's a whole nother
Yeah.
conversation. Depth of relationship.
That's a good one, though.
Oh,
That's a
yeah.
good one. I have another question for you before I let you go. Do you remember the first no? Like the first person you took a beat to and they were like, nah, that ain't it.
My first no, one of my first big no's was Gangsta Boo. That's why she my sister. Cause she told me about myself real good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, man, you think you da 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 woo woo woo, and you can't even dump a beat. She had bought a beat from me, and I couldn't even track it out. Like, I took the whole day to track out a beat, and I had just got this MPC 2000, and I had 8 outputs on the back. Anybody know about MPC 2000s or outboard gear? We had to track our beats out. We had to sync it with time code and all this stuff. And I was coming from the Roland XP50 workstation. So this was my first beat machine that I owned to myself. I was working on an MP60. I was working on my brother 3000, but this was my first 2000 that I bought. You know, myself.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's a big deal. It's like buying your own car.
I had to learn it.
Yeah.
And literally within the first week of the beats that I made from that first week, Gangsta Boo wanted one of those beats. So I was jamming. You know, and I was already going crazy on the Roland XP50, but my brother, everybody was like, man, your drums just ain't hitting hard. Anybody know if you got stock sounds or a stock keyboard like a Triton or a Roland XP50, the music sounds in it is fire. But the drums always is kind of just like not even standard, like just basic. You know what I mean? And when I got that 2000, it was just like everything was hidden.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the studio with Gangsta Boo and could not. It literally, like, it took me like the whole day. I'm talking about like 8 hours to track out the beat.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, to track out a beat, it might take you 30 minutes. Tops, maybe an hour. It still would have been 7 hours left for her to rap. I took up 8 hours to track out a beat, so she ain't even get to rap, and she had to pay for the studio time. And she was like $300. Man, I paid $300. Man, I ain't get to do shit, fool. So that was an eye-opening experience, you know what I mean? And I learned that like literally overnight. I came back the next day, had everything tracked out. She rapped for it, and I paid for the studio.
Okay.
I was like, man, look, this one on me. And I think that's another reason why people fuck with me again is because of accountability and being able to say, man, look, I fucked up. And I'm coming in there with a laughing, positive, happy attitude about it. Like, man, I fucked up, fool. Don't trip. I got the money. And that's just the difference.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not only having accountability, but turning into like a funny little, you know, it's the brotherly, sisterly love. And I think with doing it with my brother, by him bringing me into the game and having somebody like Gangsta Boo to have that sisterly love, it allowed me to become habit.
Mm-hmm.
And from those two people, it became habit with everybody I work with.
That's good. That's big. Okay, one more question for you. There's like this whole big controversy online because now people are using AI to make beats and make artists, and these artists are getting record deals. What's your take on that?
It's only so far that I think you can get, because AI is at the end of the day duplicating the originator of original music of whoever created whatever it was listening to when it duplicated whatever it duplicated.
Yeah.
So it all came from a soul or a spirit at the end of the day, number one. Number two, the stems, all of the stuff that you can do with AI, and I can get this sound and then I can break it down in the stems and all of that, it still don't give you pure quality.
Mm-hmm.
If you listen to it, it's distorted, it's thin, It's not really like, it ain't like if I tell it to give me an orchestra, this amazing ensemble or whatever with some strings and some chords, and it's gonna do a damn good job, and it's gonna sound real, and it's gonna be, but it's not gonna be the velocity and the bandwidth of what I'm gonna go do with the real orchestra.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm gonna be able to separate the stems even better.
Yeah.
Because I got each individual instrument on each individual track, which stems only gives me a group of this instrument, a group of this instrument, a group of the drums, and a group of the acapella. So it's 4 stems total. My stems are going to be 40 stems total. And it's going to be 32-bit depth float, which is, my engineers know my lingo.
Yeah.
It's going to be 96 hertz if I want it to be. It could be 48, but the velocity and the bandwidth of what I'm coming with ain't going to compare.
It ain't going to compare. I love that. I love it.
So you could play that loud and play me loud. And this, what I'm going to play, just the speaker alone is blowing air. Good quality music. It don't matter how loud it is. It's not going to distort. It's not going to hurt your ears. It's not going to make you do this. It just blows good air on you. Mm. When the speakers and the music is mixed perfectly, it blows good air.
Okay. I love it. I love it. That was an amazing response. I wasn't expecting that, but an amazing response. So I want you to leave just the audience with one, just like last gem, last piece of advice, and then let them know how they can connect with you as well.
Last piece of advice, I would say pay your taxes, man. Get you a good accountant, get you a good bookkeeper. Always keep profit and loss.
Yeah.
On standby. Yeah. Pay the taxes.
That's a good one.
You know what I'm saying? And understand what your bracket is. Understand what you can and can't do, especially with the foundations, especially with donations, being able to give back to charity, doing certain events, purchasing certain things. There's certain ways where you're able to lower your bracket just off your expenses, being able to write off X amount of things, whether it's the car, whether it's houses, depending on your use. Mm-hmm. Just understanding use of home, office, car, the gas usage, keeping mileage on deck, marking what trip was for what business, this is for personal, this was both. Those are just little minor things that's helping
that people overlook, and that's important for sure.
It's apps that keep track of every trip.
Yeah.
Do that and just mark your trips.
Awesome. That's amazing. Well, you guys, this has been another amazing episode of Access Granted. I want you to make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and share this with 3 people that you know will find value from this amazing information. Let them know how they can connect with you.
Absolutely. At Drumma Boy Fresh on our platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Also, you can check out the website, www.drummaboy.com, and the book, Behind the Hits, man. Go get it. We got the documentary in the making.
Let's go.